Megan Rapinoe and Sue Bird chiming in again on our favorite women's basketball player because they just can't stop talking about her. Nobody can stop talking about Caitlin Clark. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether we're praising her outstanding play, or whether we're critiquing her every statement, Caitlin Clark continues to occupy the minds of a lot of folks. She's living rent-free in a lot of people's heads these days. And let's start with Megan Rapinoe, who is commenting, as many have been in recent days, upon Caitlin Clark being named Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year. Megan Rapinoe saying, I think what Caitlin did in her quotes or in the article was speak explicitly about her white privilege. And that is what is receiving so much criticism or backlash, and that is the lesson. So, for conservative media coming at her now, that obviously they're just showing their ass. And are they really showing their ass? Megan Rapinoe continuing on. But for all of us just to be aware of that anytime there's anything positive or honestly, just any news at all in women's sports, it's just immediately flooded with insanity and really divisive narratives. I wonder why that happens, Megan. I wonder how that happens. Continuing on, she says, I like to think that when we as athletes are being used, when is your narrative? When is your likes being used? When are the things that you're saying being used? I don't even know what she's talking about. I'm not even sure what she said there. I think she's commending her because she recognized her white privilege, and folks like Megan Rapinoe are so consumed with identity that everything must be seen through the prism of our identity, whether that's race, whether that's sexual orientation, whatever it might be. But I want to go back to that quote. Tim, can I get that one again for a second? Because to me, Megan Rapinoe is acknowledging the problem here. She says, anytime there's anything positive or news at all in women's sports, it's immediately flooded with insanity and really divisive narratives. Well, she who smelt it dealt it. Megan, where do you think this comes from? It's not coming from outside the WNBA or outside of women's sports. It's people like yourself and your partner, Sue Bird. Let's look at what Sue Bird had to say about it. Of course, longtime WNBA player and all-star, Sue Bird, saying, I personally think she deserves to be Time Athlete of the Year. I think she earned that. And she's like, yeah, I've done enough to earn this, and I agree. But she's also acknowledging her white privilege, and that's something that you're talking about your experience. That's something I've had to acknowledge in my experience. I've won the championships. I've done the things. And there's this other part of it that I'm also going to acknowledge. So it's very important. You must acknowledge your whiteness. Do you remember race being a major component in sports back in the 80s or the 90s? You remember when Michael Jordan came along and everybody fell in love with the guy? Everybody wanted to be like Mike, whether that was buying the shoes, whether that was drinking Gatorade, whatever else he was hawking. I'm sure there have been a lot of guys out there buying Hanes underwear because that's what Michael Jordan wears. We loved Michael Jordan because he was a great player. Is it not okay to love Caitlin Clark because she's a great player? Because she seems like a likable person? Because she's performing on the court in a way that we've really never seen another woman play with that flair and style and that shooting range of hers? We have to go to race because that is where the woke left lives. Everything must be seen through that. Michael Jordan, the most popular athlete on the planet decades ago. Decades ago. But now race is the primary consideration, at least for a wide swath of folks on the left who can't just appreciate Caitlin Clark as a basketball player, and she has to be turned into this cultural lightning rod. And so here we are. College football nirvana is upon us, my friends. And good morning from Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend. Look at that snow. I don't believe that snow is in the forecast for tonight, but it's going to be chilly. Down in the 20s. Indiana. The Battle of Indiana, in fact, tonight. Indiana University making their way to South Bend to take on Notre Dame. Let's listen to what Kirk Herbstreit has to say about tonight's matchup.
Well, from Los Angeles, Chargers Broncos, great game last night on Prime. The touchdown Jesus, snowy South Bend. We wondered what these college football playoff games might look like in the North. Here we are. Now, Indiana's probably looking at the same weather, so it's not that big a deal, but it is cool to think of a massive game. Could be in some snow. And my man's out here just loving seeing snow for the first time. What do you think, dude? Go get him. Something scare you? Go get him. Just loving life. Pretty surreal. Pretty awesome. College football, man. South Bend.
Hard not to like Kirk Herbstreit. The guy's just traveling around the country, bringing you football, got his dog with him, having fun. It's what it's all about. And look, we've been talking about college football this season. I've said I've been checked out on college football for a long time. But if you're going to host a daily program on OutKick, you better brush up, is what I've learned. And so my first guest this morning is the man who has helped me doing everything practically but coming on this show every week with flashcards to get me up to speed. And so now here we are, college football playoff time, all the speculation, all the talk, all the OutKick elite top 12s that we've both contributed to throughout this season. It's all behind us. And tonight in South Bend, and this weekend, we've got playoff college football. So let me now bring in the man himself, OutKick's national senior college football writer, the great Trey Wallace, joins me. And Trey, buddy, we got 4 games this weekend. We're going to be down to 8 teams by the time that the dust settles. What are you looking forward to the most?
Well, that was a fantastic intro, by the way. Sounded like Howard Finkel. Just an old reference, a throwback. How about that? Yeah, no, man, we're honored. Look, we're here. We made it. A new era in college sports with 12-team playoff. I mean, and it's and the most fascinating part is, we're getting games in South Bend. We're getting games in Happy Valley, in Columbus, where I'm at, in Austin, Texas, where it's going to be like 65 degrees and pretty warm and everybody's going to be fine. It's just a culmination. I'm excited to see how this thing is going to go off. We start tonight, with a game with Notre Dame and Indiana in South Bend, at 8 o'clock Eastern time kickoff. And, maybe the snow's out of there, but there's still going to be snow. It's just going to be a picture perfect type of setting. And I'm excited while I'm sitting here watching it sleet in Columbus. So, yeah, man, this is fun. Ricky, we've come a long way since week 1, my brother.
All right, well, I've been reading your stuff, and I know your predictions for these games. I think you're expecting, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but from reading your piece on these games, you're expecting 4 pretty good football games. It seems to me.
I don't know about the runaway 21-point win. I don't. I think that these teams are good enough to kind of hang in there, get this thing to the fourth quarter. I think there are going to be one or two games that are decided, by a touchdown and late field goal, late in the fourth quarter. But I do think at the same time that people are thinking Texas, could possibly dog walk Clemson. And I'm like, okay, well, Clemson's a good football team. I've sat there, I've watched Texas play bad football. I've watched Quinn Ewers throw the ball like a loaf of bread in the SEC title game and get picked off twice. Like, it's not looked past, the Texas offense has not been stellar. So like that's a game. And then you look at SMU and Penn State, Ricky, and Happy Valley, tomorrow. Who knows what that's going to be like? It's not going to be a packed house, by the way, of 100,000 people. There might be 80,000 folks. There are so many tickets still for sale. How does a team like SMU travel to Happy Valley in that cold weather and God knows what else is going to be there and play? But I think, look, we got to this point because we wanted to find the best 12 teams in the country. Did we find the best 12 team? Okay, maybe the argument could have gone back and forth between Alabama, SMU, whatever. But I think a culmination of getting to this point, I just don't see like a big blowout in this one. I think these teams are worthy enough to be there. And even Indiana tonight against Notre Dame, I don't think it's going to be like some boat race. I think Indiana, is going to keep it close and Notre Dame kind of breaks away in the fourth quarter. But Ricky, I mean, we're going to find out. Here's the thing I talk about a lot. If people are looking to expand this thing to 14 teams. You heard Miami's quarterback say, well, maybe we should get 16 to 24 teams in there. It's like, come on, man. There's not that many teams that are capable of winning a national championship. We're going to find out tonight if we got it right with 12 and getting into tomorrow. Was it too much or was it the right amount? So I think that it's going to be a fascinating day and a half of college football, man. And hell, the junkie and me, Ricky, I know we get Notre Dame tonight in Indiana, but we also get Ohio versus Jacksonville State today. We get Florida versus Tulane in the Gasparilla whatever bowl. So bring it on, brother.
Yeah, we got all the poor man's postseason college football going on at the same time. We don't want to forget about that. Look, I don't want to steal your thunder, Trey, but you've got one upset that you're choosing this weekend. So I'm gonna let you lay it out there. It's a pretty bold pick. You're gonna look like a smart man if it comes through.
I've gone back and forth on this one, and I'm sitting here looking down because I want to give you the correct score that I kind of threw out there. I think we're at a point right now with this Clemson team that I saw what they did in the first half against SMU, and I'm not saying that Texas is kind of up there in the same, but Clemson has this ability to kind of hang around. And I know what happened against South Carolina and whatever. This is a different season. This is the college football playoff. This is the postseason, baby. Okay? Anything and everything is going to happen. I think Texas comes out tomorrow and Quinn Ewers has a bad day. And when I say bad day, remind you the fact that he threw for 350 yards against Georgia in the SEC title game, but he also threw 2 interceptions that just killed the Longhorns. I think the Texas offense gets into kind of a rut, and I think Clemson goes into Austin and wins that game tomorrow afternoon. There's something about Dabo wanting to prove a point. I think we're going to see some craziness when it comes to play calling, and Cade Klubnik, maybe the guy can come through. I think he will. I think the defense causes some problems, and the upset goes to Clemson over Texas, in my opinion, tomorrow. That's going to be weird. I'm going to have to eat the hell out of that one, but if it doesn't happen.
They're getting enough points that you going there has got me thinking about logging back into my gambling account and maybe throwing $100 on Clemson at least to get within that spread, man. I just
don't trust Quinn, Ricky. They could throw in Arch Manning tomorrow, and he could. By the way, they're going to have packages for Arch Manning tomorrow. You're going to see him play against Clemson. But what I'm saying is if you get into a spot where Quinn Ewers is turning the ball over and can't hang on to it, and Clemson's defense gets after him, Just saying, I think the Tigers are profound enough, offensively to put up some points. And my other biggest thing too, Ricky, is Texas kind of overlooking Clemson a little bit? Like, you never know. Like, you just, they see that 12-point spread and whatnot. So I'm just saying, I ain't telling you how to spend your money, my brother, but sprinkle a little bit on the Tigers tomorrow.
I'm thinking about it. I think I might have to. I want to hit a couple of other issues here with you before I bring in Ronnie T-Shirts, who I'm sure has got a couple of questions for you. One here is, I find it interesting, Greg Byrne down at Alabama, as you said, maybe the 13th team there, definitely the 13th team. They would argue that they're at least 12th. Soliciting for Bama fans to contribute to the NIL fund so that we can go out and get some players and show everybody what Alabama's all about. You can see this. I went in, I followed the link and saw where there are various different tiers where you can contribute your dollars to Alabama to allocate to football talent. I mean, is this where we're at, Trey? We're basically at the point, it feels like those Feed the Children commercials where he's like, if LaDainian is a cornerback and for just 60 cents a day, you can keep him from going to LSU. Is kind of where we're at. Are we sponsoring college football players now?
So I was talking with somebody yesterday about this, and I was like, so what if Alabama in the third quarter just, played the Sarah McLachlan music, put up a video board, their starting lineup, and for $18 a month, you can sponsor Tyler Booker, the offensive lineman, for $24 a month. You can sponsor the quarterback. Please give us something like this. Look, here's the thing. Universities and collectives have been doing this type of thing where they have subscription-based stuff and you get behind-the-scenes interviews and whatnot and film breakdown with players and whatever. It's a waste of money, in my opinion. But I think at first what happened, Ricky, is they wanted fans to feel like they were a part of the whole NIL situation. So they're like, oh, we'll donate this money, and you can be a part of why we're getting the 5-star player. Okay. Well, the problem is when you've got people, Greg Byrne came out this morning and said they had 800 people sign up for it yesterday after he put the tweet out and after multiple media outlets, including myself, wrote about it. 800 people out of a whole fan base. Is that really a lot? I don't know. We can have that discussion another day. I look at it as, how much more are you going to ask from the fans? Like the fans are already paying for tickets. The fans are already paying for travel. The fans are already paying for the gear, the jerseys, the hot dogs in the concession stands, the parking that's up to ass roof just to get into the darn game. And at the same time, let's not forget about the fans that are buying season tickets, that you have to donate money first just to be able to buy the season ticket. So what I'm getting at is, how much more are you going to ask from the fans, man? The every average day Joe giving you $18 a month, what is that really doing? Here's the problem that's happening. And I'm talking to multiple people about this over the last week or two about how we're going to go forward. You had these big money boosters, Ricky, that were given 300 grand, 400, 500, 600 grand. And they were going out and they were getting a good player from the transfer portal, or they were signing the player out of high school. The problem is, the guy that gave $500,000 last year to a collective because we got that player, well, guess what? That player's in the transfer portal now and going to another school. So where's my return on investment? There is none. The guy that I gave all the money to for, well, damn, he's going to another school now. So what the hell did I just waste $500,000 for? That's what you're seeing right now. That's why you have universities coming out and begging fans for money and saying we're being attacked and it's time for us to attack back. Like, what is that? Come on, man. Like, you don't need to try to oversell this thing. We know what you're trying to do. And so I'm fascinated to see if the big money boosters continue to stick around, Ricky, because they are tired of wasting money. They see all these players hitting the portal and it's like, damn, okay, I'm giving $1 million in total, but 150 of that actually went to something because a player stuck around. That's why you're seeing this right now, and it's only going to get worse, like it is. I think I'll end it this way, Ricky. You have got the athletic department that's sitting there asking money for the NIL collective and revenue sharing and whatnot. It's coming ahead, but at the same time, they need money for the baseball facility. They need money to renovate the football stadium. They need money. So it's like, where the hell are you going to send your money? And how are you going to allocate it? So I'm tired of the begging crap. There's not enough that you can give me a month if I was a fan for $18 a month that says, okay, well, I get an extra interview with this kid. All right, well, I'll give you $18 a month. Like, just stop, man. Stop begging the fans for this shit.
We are living in wild times, Trey. I mean, it seems like it was just yesterday that we were told if a student athlete made 10 cents, the entire society would crumble. I don't know. Maybe those people were right, Trey. We'll see how it all plays out.
Don't go get those tacos. Don't let the coach buy the player a taco. It's an NCAA violation.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's the worst thing that could possibly ever happen. Trey, I swear to God, that was 15 minutes ago. I don't even understand what's happening in the game today. Let me bring in now the international streaming star from Nashville, Tennessee, Ronnie T-Shirts. Here's the good news. I got your boy here for you. The bad news is we got time for one question. So make it count, Ronnie T-Shirts.
All right. Hope you're having fun in Columbus.
I am. It's cold as shit. I'm good. Thank you.
I'll DM you some restaurants to go to if you want. But here's what I want to know. How's the sausage made, dude? So you wake up tomorrow, and I assume you're going to watch the two games. I don't know, maybe you watch the first one from your hotel room.
Yeah.
But tell me how the sausage is made. What is a day in the life of a college football writer look like? I want to know where you're sitting. Are you in the stands? Are you in a press box? Like, tell me what a day looks like.
So I'm going to take you behind the fourth wall, as I like to put it. And I like to tell folks sometimes when they ask what my job entails. So, like, I'll give you an example. Today, I'm going to leave the hotel here in just a little bit. I'm going to go to Ohio State's campus. I'm going to talk to fans that are already tailgating or RVing and setting up and whatnot. I'm going to put together a cool story for tomorrow morning that's going to soak in everything that's going on. I'm going to find Tennessee fans that are already in town, try to have some fun with it. Tomorrow is the interesting one because of the times of the games. We got our first game starting at 12. Well, I'm going to watch that first game, probably at the hotel. I'm darn sure not just going to go sit in my car outside the stadium for 8 hours. So I'll watch that first game from the hotel, and then I'll head over to the shoe and probably get there around 4:00. And from there, man, it's soaking in the atmosphere. That's what I like to do. For 2 hours before I go into the stadium, it's always about soaking up the atmosphere. It's talking with fans, getting some fun videos, getting the feel of the game. That's what I enjoy. I want to be able to set the scene for our readers out there. And so when I go in the game, usually I go back and forth. Sometimes I'm photography during the game. Sometimes I'm shooting the game and trying to find the best videos and pictures we can for our readers out there, for all our articles and whatnot. And then sometimes, like tomorrow, I'll be in the press box with it being 15 degrees outside. But it's an interesting dynamic, man, of trying to balance out the day. It's a lot different, compared to like 11 o'clock kick. The worst part about it for me is, and I'm not complaining because I get to go watch college football and write about it for a living, but you got to wait till 8 o'clock at night for the game to kick off. That game is not going to end till midnight. That means I'm going to be up till 4:00 in the morning writing. So literally, whatever sleep I get tonight is what I'm going to get in the next 48 hours. So it's a fun process, man. It is it's grueling, but we are going to. I like to bring everything in a way where I can submerge everybody in what I'm doing, and I think that's the best part. If you can't be there, let me try to be the guy that's going to get you there through social media and whatnot. So it's going to be fun tomorrow night, and I don't know what to expect out of this game, Ronnie and Ricky. I don't. I think that I'll give you this. I'll just leave you with this. There's a reason why there are over 10,000 tickets still for sale for this game on secondary markets right now, and talking with some experts in the business about this. So there's going to be a lot of orange in the stands. Don't go crazy, Ohio State fans. It's not a big deal. It just adds to the pageantry of it. Like, it's going to be fun. Get used to it. And at the end of the day, we'll see, man. I picked Ohio State to win a very, very close one, but this thing could go either way.
Hey, man, if you have a chance, go to St. John Arena and check out the Skull Session. I don't know if you've ever seen that before, but it's pretty cool if you want to soak in the atmosphere of what Ohio State is.
I'm trust me, that is on the list. I don't have to pay for it. It's like $50 on the website. I ain't got to pay for it. So I am definitely checking that out. It's going to be a blast, man. This is going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to have you all covered here at OutKick.com.
All right, well, go Bucs.
Ronnie, that was a strong question, buddy.
Every once in a while, man.
Every once in a while. I'm interested. A little bit of a peek behind the curtain into the life of a big-time college football writer. Get over to OutKick and check out Trey's stuff. He is covering everything closely as we're getting into the nitty-gritty here. So do yourself a favor and make sure that you're reading up everything that Trey is putting out over at OutKick. Brother, enjoy it. We look forward to reading you. We look forward to more perspective and seeing how this weekend turns out, man. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Ricky, Ronnie, thanks for having me, buddy. Y'all have a great weekend. Everybody out there, enjoy the college football playoff, and Merry Christmas to you all. Thank you, buddy.
You too. Have fun in Columbus.
All right. Thank you, brother. The great Trey Wallace right there. He's in Columbus. He's on the ground, our man from OutKick right there assessing the scene in Columbus, Ohio. Tennessee and Ohio, Ronnie, he expects it to be a good game, but he likes the Buckeyes to advance, which I'm sure is sounding pretty good to you, Ronnie. Let's go ahead and go to America's Poll of the Day, shall we? Because we've got our own tournament going on here every week on the Ricky Cobb Show, where we pit 4 good things against each other every day, and then we take the winners from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and we find out every Friday what the best thing of the good things is. And here are this week's winners, Ron. They're all going to look familiar to you, but I'll walk you through them here. Monday's champion, the Allman Brothers, which, again, I certainly have some affinity for the Allman Brothers since I'm kind of stealing their look every day of my life. Rice Krispies Treats, which I think speak for themselves. They probably don't need a lot of talk. Sausage and Egg McMuffins, Ron. I had one during the show a couple of days ago, in fact. And lastly, Clint Eastwood. So we've got a band, an actor, and 2 delicious things. What are you voting for, and what is your prediction?
Easy vote for me is sausage, egg McMuffin. I haven't eaten at McDonald's probably for 25 years, with the exception of breakfast. I do like McDonald's breakfasts, so big McMuffin fan. I prefer bacon, but there's nothing wrong with a sausage egg McMuffin. I think it'll be egg McMuffin, Clint Eastwood battling it out.
I predict that it's going to, I think Clint Eastwood's going to win, is what I'm saying. I would also vote for a sausage and egg McMuffin, Ron. So
you want another one right now,
I'm in agreement
but fresh?
with you. Well, fresh. It's got to be fresh. That one that's set out on my doorstep for 50 minutes during the show, it needed more than 10 seconds in the microwave. So yeah, that wasn't the finest one that I've ever experienced.
Yeah, you were definitely doing that for content.
When they're fresh. The thing that's amazing is how much the egg cost. Like, go to McDonald's website sometimes and look at how much a sausage McMuffin is.
Okay.
It's just cheese and a sausage patty. But then when you get the sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin, it goes up like, it's like almost twice the price.
Well, eggs are really expensive right now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you. Eggs are, if you own chickens, you're just sitting back and feeling good about yourself, because who knew that eggs were going to become such a precious resource in this day and age. So I'm going to go with sausage and egg McMuffins. Clint Eastwood is going to win, is my prediction. Let's light that candle, producer Tim. and see where Tim's head is at right now. He's thinking of, I can't see him going for the Allman Brothers. No, he's also going to go McMuffins.
Got it right.
All right. Well, Tim is an Allman Brothers fan, so that may have been a more difficult decision for him than I was projecting. But yeah, Clint Eastwood, not quite beer or bacon, but my audience really loves Clint Eastwood.
Yeah,
I have discovered, Ron, almost as much as Hunter Biden loves methamphetamine. Ron, I don't know. Did you see that Flavor Flav? How's that for a segue? Did you see that Flavor Flav? And sometimes people want to call him Flava Flav. No, don't deny him his R. He is Flavor Flav. Some people think that it's Flava, and they're getting carried away. His name is Flavor Flav. Oh, wait a minute. Tim did that. Oh, my God. Tim, I'm not even throwing shade at you, man. I didn't see that. He's Flavor Flav. He's technically Flavor. But Tim is just on that level with him. Tim and Flavor, he can call him Flava because, you know.
Tim has Flava.
Tim, wait a minute. Tim once told Flavor Flav to fuck off at a concert. Tim, you can't just tell me that.
Like face to face or he loved it. Like the upper deck?
I don't know. Well, he was third row. Told him to fuck off at Ithaca College.
Why?
Shout out to Kayla Halley. I have to anytime Ithaca comes up.
What did Flav do?
He loved it. He loved it, smiled, and sprinkled water on Tim.
It wasn't water.
I think is Tim just making this up? Is Tim like, well, wait a minute, Ronnie's got an Al Jarreau story. I gotta try to compete with this. Flavor Flav. I told him to fuck off and he poured water. I don't know. No, he says it's 100% true. Okay. All right. Tim has agreed. Wait a minute. Breaking. Tim has agreed to make an appearance on the show next week to tell his Flavor Flav story in detail.
That'll be a Christmas miracle.
I'm all about that. It is. It feels like it. But yeah, Flavor Flav and Hunter Biden sharing a few private moments. There, Ron. What's Flavor saying to him?
Boy!
It's like, all right, Flavor. We're gonna go back to my hotel room later. I've got crystal meth in my hotel room. I've got some money from the Ukrainians. I'm gonna have my dad make a couple of phone calls. We'll get all the good hookers.
Yeah, boy.
You're committed to the bit. I give you that.
Yeah, boy.
Flavor Flav is sober. He's sober. I'm being told. Flavor Flav. Now, so he might not be into Hunter Biden's shenanigans. He might say, methamphetamine is not for me, sir. I don't know. But Hunter Biden, at the White House, just
we doing this
hanging
again?
out with Flavor Flav. I don't know. No, God, no. We don't. Oh, no. You can stop, please, for the love of God.
One more. Boy.
Let's play another game. Woody Johnson, Jerry Jeudy story. We were talking about how the Jets on Jeopardy, the question was, right, this team, only one team that made it to the Super Bowl before the moon landing, hasn't been back since. It happens to be Woody Johnson's New York Jets. And check this out. There is a report from The Athletic, and The Athletic is certainly a credible source, that then New York general manager Joe Douglas, he has since been relieved of his duties, was in deep negotiations, quote unquote, with Denver for a trade that would have sent Jerry Jeudy to the Jets. The Denver general manager felt that a deal was near until it fell through, and Douglas told the Broncos that Woody Johnson, owner of the New York Jets, didn't want to make the trade because he felt that Jeudy's player rating in Madden wasn't high enough. According to multiple leak sources, the report states this verbatim. Ron, we have an actual NFL owner who's listening to his teenage sons, is what is being alleged here, and he nixed a trade for a wide receiver because he didn't like his Madden ratings.
I mean,
is this still real life?
Didn't the owner of the Browns say that a homeless guy told him to draft Johnny Manziel, and that's why he did it? I mean, these guys are crazy and eccentric. Can you do me a favor real quick? Lean into the mic and pretend that this was, instead of Woody Johnson, it was Jerry Jones. And could you do Jerry Jones saying that he doesn't want Jerry Jeudy because of his Madden rating?
Yeah. It's like, well, I understand that we were deep in negotiations with Denver Broncos to acquire Jerry Jeudy, but I talked to my two punk-ass teenage boys, and they said to me, Dad, we're concerned that Jerry Jeudy's Madden ratings leave a little bit to be desired. And then I went and I ate some squirrel brains. So there you go. I just need any excuse to talk about
that
Jerry
was so
Jones.
good. There's a new combat sport out there that is right up your alley, and I think it's something that you can compete in. You ready?
Oh, it's not beating up smaller men from Central America, is it?
It's pretty damn close. It's the UDKC.
Okay, well, I'm interested.
It's the UDKC. Ultimate Dick Kicking
Oh, my
Championships.
God.
The best part of...
Stop. Stop.
The best part about this, Ricky, you're never going to guess where it's held. It's in Thailand.
Where is it held?
It's in
Bangkok?
Thailand. Bangkok, Thailand. Yes.
Oh, my God. What? Have you ever seen Idiocracy? You need to see the movie Idiocracy, because it predicted, it said it would take 500 years for us to get as stupid. It's really only taken about 20 since that movie came out. We're moving at a rate much faster in terms of our cultural deterioration than the great Mike Judge foresaw. But good Lord. Hey, listen, if face smacking is a thing, dick kicking can't be far behind, Ron. I don't even know why I'm surprised.
Well, if you want to keep going down into the abyss, I have another story for you. So, are you familiar with the water brand?
Let's do it.
Are you familiar with the water brand Liquid Death?
Yeah, they've got the cans that look like
heavy metal
liquor or whatever. Yeah. Their branding is pretty intense for water.
So, in conjunction with, are you ready? Depends. The adult diaper company. They have produced.
Is this real, Ron? You're just making stuff up today.
Nope,
you're making the WTFs up
today. It's a pit diaper for adults that go to concerts that generally like to do mosh pitting and can't be bothered with having to go to the bathroom and wait in the long lines. This is a legit story. They sold them for $75 and almost instantly sold out.
That has to just be a gag thing, though, right? Nobody's actually going out and peeing on the dance floor wearing that.
Well, they're not peeing on the dance floor. They're peeing in their diaper so they don't have to leave, Ricky.
Was that Jason Kelsey? Can we get another look? I thought that was Jason Kelsey for a second, wearing the pit diaper. No, I guess it's not. Upon further reflection. Look at the chick next to him. She's not she's not even bothered by the fact that guy's just draining right there on the dance floor.
Yeah, I just thought it'd be a good idea.
Very concerning.
I thought it'd be a good idea Christmas week, going into Christmas week, we just do something about dick kicking and peeing in mosh pits. So, there you go.
Holiday is just right around the corner. It's slipping up on us now, folks. Christmas is less than a week away, and Are you going to be ready to bring your best in the new year? Well, you can do that if you make it over to shop.outkick.com and use our code HOLIDAY. That is going to get you in the door not only for some of the finest OutKick swag that you could possibly get your hands on, but you're going to be able to do it at a sweet price as well. And there's nothing not to like about that. code HOLIDAY. Shop.outkick.com.
Hey, OutKick fans on YouTube, if you enjoyed this episode, hit the subscribe button and make your way over to OutKick.com where you can watch the full episode.